Hey everyone, thanks for learning to play games. My name is Lance, and in today's video I'm going to look at a brand new game coming to Kickstarter called Viking Route. This is a brand new one from Ares Games. It is a 1 to 4 player game that takes roughly 45 minutes to an hour and a half to play, and is a fully cooperative game where all the players are working together to complete whichever scenario they've chosen to go on. So in the game itself, you are going to be playing powerful Vikings that have been tasked by Odin to take down some big bad monster, and ultimately to defeat Loki. And you're going to do that by using your navigation skills on the high seas, making your way around, trying to complete and collect the different objectives that you've been tasked with. Now, there's plenty of things that are going to be in your way, such as Valkyries and all kinds of big bad monsters that are going to be trying to destroy you and to take your Vikings down. So in this video, I'm going to take you through the main features of the game and show you a couple sample turns to give you a better idea how this one plays, so you know whether or not this one you want to back on Kickstarter. As always, if you find my videos helpful, if you like what I do, please consider hitting that like button and subscribe to my channel. It's one of the easiest ways you can support channels like mine so we continue to grow and be able to produce this content. If you want to stay up to date on all my videos, also give that notification bell a ring, and that'll let you know whenever I drop new stuff, as I'm constantly dropping new teaching videos, playthroughs, crowdfunding videos, and many others. And as always, all the materials I have here are prototype materials and are subject to change, and will look a lot better in the final production copy of the game. So let's go ahead and head to the table, and we'll see what this one's all about. First, let's start by taking a look at the different heroes that players can play as in the game. So each player is going to be playing an epic Viking hero, and each hero is going to have its own dashboard that's going to list the name of that Viking along with that Viking's image. And each Viking is going to have its own special ability that can be triggered by spending one or more of the spirit tokens. And then you'll carry out the ability listed. And then you're going to have the 3 different stats for that Viking. Each Viking is going to have an attack stat that's going to list the number of dice it's going to roll when performing an attack action, its number of health tokens that you're going to place on it, and as it takes damage, you're going to flip those tokens from their red to their black side. And then finally, at the bottom of the card is going to be the number of backpack slots that you have, where you'll be able to place, or you can place tokens that you can use during your turn and carry out different things. And there are 4 different Vikings included in my demo copy here. I have Helga, I have Urwulf, Koba, and Astrid, and each one of them has their own special ability and different stats. During setup, the players are going to select a scenario that they wish to play, and each scenario is going to have a main monster that you're going to be facing or other enemy. And there are going to be a number of these included in the game, such as the Kraken, or the Orminger, Loki, and Hela, to name a few, and each one of them will have their own special set of tokens and all that to go along with them. Next, I want to go over the ship itself, as this is going to be the main area players are going to be moving around on throughout the game to carry out the different actions on the ship. And there are 6 different locations on the ship that players can move and activate. So let's go ahead and start at the front of the ship. We have the ballista, where players can go and fire that ballista and hopefully hit things that are close to the ship. You can also flip the ballista over to its flaming arrow side, and when you do, if you roll a miss, you can flip it back over to its regular side to use that to change that miss into a critical success. From there, then, you're going to have location 2, which covers the entire main area of the ship. At this location, you can add spirit tokens, you can also disembark or re-embark onto the ship, and you can also get help from the gods. When you do a help from the gods action, you'll reveal a card and place it in one of the 2 locations there. And then later on, during a later part of your turn, you can spend an action to carry out the effect on one of those cards and discard it. Next, you're going to have the 3rd location. This location you can go to change the direction of the ravens or the winds if you're close enough to that, which I'll go over a little bit more later. The 4th location is for sails, and if you go there, you can place out the different sail tokens onto the ship, where you'll be able to move a number of spaces based on the number on the sail. The 5th location is your hull, and this is where you're going to carry on or place all the tokens that your ship moves onto throughout the game. And you can go there with your heroes to pick those tokens up and place them onto your dashboard that you can trigger and use those during your turn. The final location is the tiller, and at this location you can help change the direction that the ship is going to move every time it moves. Initially, it's going to be set to neutral, where you're going to be moving just forward based on wherever your red arrow on your compass is pointing, but you can also change directions where anytime you move, you're going to move to the left, of your arrow or the right of your arrow. And that'll be up to you and how you handle it throughout the game. Next is navigating the seas. So as you saw on the ship, you can change the speed at which your ship is going to move, which is going to be your compass, based on the sails that you place on. And the tiller is going to determine the direction based on where your north facing is. So with the tiller, if you're facing, your north facing is going to be straight, and then to your left and right are going to be those two other spots next to that. Throughout the game, you're going to be able to go and do those actions to change the direction of your ravens, as well as move them a couple of notches. And then as you can see, as you do that, you're going to slowly be changing the direction of the compass, in which case that will dictate how your ship is going to move. You can do the same thing with the wind, changing how the wind is going to affect your ship as well. And the closer to the wind or the ravens that you are, the more it is going to change and adjust that compass. So with this one, I have selected to use Jormungandr to go up against, and he is the big serpent that we're going to be challenging. Now, throughout this one, as the special symbols show up from the Fate deck, he is going to be placing his different body parts out, trying to surround the ship, and then he will be able to come onto the ship at certain points where he's going to do his bite, where he can add poison tokens to the various Vikings if they are present on the ship and start doing damage to them. So from there, let's go ahead and get into the game and show a couple of turns. So the game itself is going to be played over rounds. Each round is going to consist of each Viking getting to take a turn, and during a Viking's turn, it's going to be broken down into two phases. The first phase is the Viking phase, where that Viking is going to get to take up to 3 actions. Those actions can be various actions on the ship or on land, depending upon where that Viking is. Once the Viking has completed its 3 actions or chooses not to complete any further actions, then that Viking's turn is going to come to an end, and you'll move into the Fate phase. During the Fate phase, you're going to reveal the top card of the Fate deck and handle each one of the icons that are on that card, moving the Valkyries around, triggering different effects from the enemy that you've chosen to go up against for the scenario, and other effects as you're going to see. You're also going to be moving the ship around, so with that, you're going to have to position the different ravens and the wind so that it helps guide your ship around the map. So let's go ahead and get into the game. And during the game itself, during the round, you get to choose as the players, communicating with each other, or which order you wish to go in. So during this step, each of the players can talk and decide. And so I'm going to go ahead and have Kuba go first. So you'll take the token off, and then Kuba gets to take his turn. So he'll have up to 3 actions to carry out various things. So I think I'm going to go ahead and move into the area here and start moving the ship. So I'm going to set the mast, and so now the ship will potentially move based on the different results that come up. And I think I'll just move back out at this point. So that is his turn. So again, then we'll move into the Fate phase, and I'm going to reveal a card. So this card is first going to have the picture of the ship. So that means that the ship is going to move, and it's going to move by its north facing. And then you're also going to consult the tiller, and that is going to tell you the direction as well for that north facing. So if I'm whatever that north facing is, right now I'm going to be moving straight. But if this was on the left or right, I would move based on that. So these first 3 spaces surrounding the front of the ship, I would move based on that tiller. So right now I'm going to be moving forward 1 space, as the sail that I have on is going to only move me 1 space at this point. From there, then I'm going to handle the specials. So each special I'm going to handle. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do with the first special is to take a body part that's currently not on the board and place it surrounding the compass so that it is closest to one of the magical stones. So I'll go ahead and place that one there. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the next one, placing it on that space there. All right, now that I've handled all that, that player's turn is over, and I'm going to move into the next player's turn. So again, I'm going to choose one of the active players. And now that I have those 2 body parts surrounding me, I think I'm going to go with Urwolf and have him go into the ballista as his first action. His second action, I'm going to go ahead and take a shot and try to move one of those body parts, get them out of there. So let's see. First All right, so for each hit result, I can move a body part one space away. All right, and then if I would have gotten a critical, which are the ones with the little flares around the skull, I could actually move it to any one of the rune spaces. So that can be really helpful. All right, so next, I'm going to take another shot here. And this time I got 2 results. I'm going to go ahead and move this one 2 spaces back. One correction I need to make is when I hit Jormungandr's body parts and move them, he is also going to handle a bite. And with a bite, you're going to roll the d6 to determine the location he shows up on. And then if there are any Vikings on that part of the ship, he is going to attack one of those Vikings, poisoning that Viking, adding a poison token to its board, as you can see here. And then each time that Viking is readied, you're going to add an additional poison token to the board. If you ever have poison tokens equal to the health of that Viking, you're going to remove all of those poison tokens except for one, and then you're going to flip over a health token. Now, one way to get rid of poison is to heal your character, and instead of healing them, you're actually going to remove all of the poison tokens from their board. All right, that is all of the actions that I can do on my turn for him. So then again, I'm going to reveal a card. All right, so this one again is going to have my ship moving, and so this time it's split between these 2 spaces. So anytime it's an even split, you as the players get to choose which direction it moves. So I'm going to go ahead and move it that way there. And then the Valkyrie are going to move. So each Valkyrie is going to move 1 space towards the ship, if it is possible. So this one here cannot move through lands, so she's going to have to start moving around. All right, that is his turn. So then again, moving back over to our Vikings, I am going to go with Helga next. So Helga, I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to reveal a God's card. So these cards can be very helpful. This is the Nord Winds. So it's the next activation of the ship. Ignore the settings for sails and tiller. Move the compass by as many spaces as you want in the direction of the red arrow. Okay, so that could be quite helpful. And that was her first action. So as her second action, she's going to move here. And her third action, I'm going to go ahead and move the tiller over there. That way then, if the ship moves, it's going to start moving around this corner here. All right, that is her turn. So on to that again. So again, the ship is going to move. So this time it is going to move towards its left. And then the Valkyries are going to go again, so they're going to continue moving. So with Valkyrie, if it ever reaches the compass, that means it actually is going to be on the ship and you'll randomize where it'll go. All right, then it is over to our final Viking, Astrid. She is going to go next. So with Astrid, I am going to, let's see here. I'm going to add a spirit token to the board, and those are going to be used to trigger our special abilities and will also be used for other things. And then I am going to go ahead and go into here and change the wind direction. So I could change either the wind or one of the ravens. With the ravens, I can change their orientation as well as I can move them up to 2 spaces or 2 notches in either direction. And this is going to help me start to navigate around some of these spaces. So I'm going to go ahead and move the green raven, and you can also adjust it as you do things, so you can kind of see what is going to happen with that. And so I would like to go that direction. Whew, okay, I think that will work out. And that is my turn, as she has done all 3 actions at this point. So again, we're going to reveal a card. All right, so the ship is going to move again. So this time, it again would move forward, so it's going to go to the left. And then it is going to have the Valkyries moving 2 spaces. So I'll go ahead and handle that one first. Then this one, and then this one. So this one's going to move 1 and 2 onto the ship. So I'm going to randomize the location. And it is location 2, so it isn't on the main part of the ship. All right, that is the end of that round. So again, then our players would reset, placing all of their tokens back on there, and you would start a new round. Now, if you ever run out of the cards in the Fate deck, you're going to move the hourglass marker up 1 space, and then you'll shuffle those cards back up and continue on. Now, if the hourglass marker ever reaches the final space going through the deck 3 times, then the game is over. You've taken too long and you have lost as the players. And each one of the scenarios is broken into 2 parts. So this initial part, I'm trying to find the 3 magic stones. Once I have done that, then you're going to move into the second part of the scenario where it is going to instruct you how to add any additional setup instructions, and then you're going to go after the main big bad, trying to defeat it or handle some other situation that has come up at that point. Well, I hope this gave you a better idea of how the game plays and help you to decide whether or not this is one you want to back on Kickstarter. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please post those in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer them. Or swing by the Kickstarter main page and drop any questions in the comment section there. I'm sure the creators would love to hear from you and I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have. Until next time, I'll see you later.